It's week 5 of the NFL, and we've got C.J. Stroud. He's been sensational as he leads the league in touchdown passes. It's the Texans and the Steelers on EA Sports.
From the stadium that hosted Super Bowl 51 back in 2017, we are inside NRG Stadium in Houston. Hi again, everyone. With Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Gaudin. And Charles, we look at this Texan ball club entering play here. It's been all systems go in this first month. They're off to a 4-0 start.
And it's got folks believing that this is a team that's built to go all the way. You can't win the Super Bowl in September, but they're telling everyone that they're going to be there in the end.
Meanwhile, for the visiting Steelers, they come in feeling good after back-to-back victories.
And this coaching staff has to be pleased with how their defense played last week. They held their opponents to 3 points, and that was it. If they get anything comparable to that performance, this one's in the bag.
Seems like we were just starting training camp, but here we are in October, and off we go on EA Sports. And they will wrangle him down a couple yards shy of the 30. So the Steelers offense getting set for their first drive. They'll be led out by the man who played his college ball in the city of Orlando, the rookie from UCF.
And he's got to be feeling pretty good about himself right now because he's coming off of a strong performance in their team's win last week. And you can just tell, even early in his rookie season, he's starting to get really comfortable out there, and things are starting to fall into place. In fact, in talking to the rival defensive coordinator of the team he's facing this week, he told me this young man's starting to get it.
And they get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line. First carry for Najee Harris. And he is going to lose yardage here. Officially, it's a 1-yard loss. That's going to bring up 2nd and 11. Now they'll change things around before the snap. 2nd and 11. The ball comes out. And the Texans scoop it. And they'll take over inside the 45 at the 44-yard line. And without a doubt, not the way they pictured that opening drive unfolding.
No, they were making progress. They weren't exactly in high gear, but they were making a few yards along the way. And now that they've coughed it up, they got to go back to the sidelines and regroup a little bit.
So out come the Texans in great starting field position. And they'll be led out by their third-year quarterback.
And he's been playing at an elite level here in this early half of the season. Tops in the league in touchdown passes at this point. This is definitely a wide-open offense, so we'll see if he can keep his string of good games going right here.
A first carry here for Joe Mixon. And he's going to be stopped at about the 37. The numbers for Mixon last week: 14 carries, 127 yards.
How about the first month of the season for him? He leads the league in rushing, so you know his confidence is at an all-time high, which means his offensive line loves it too. They'll get more opportunities to run block for him.
Back to Mixon on 2nd down. And he gets it down to the 32.
Illegal block in the back. Offense.
Now, the offense knew it. They were already starting to walk back as that one is accepted. Stroud to throw it. Man open. That's complete to Dalton Schultz. And he'll get this one down near the 20-yard line, just shy of the 20. A gain there of 21 yards.
And this is an offense that's number 1 in the NFL in rushing, and you know that has to be the focus of any game plan defensively. But they can throw it too, as evidence right there, and they move the chains here on this opening drive.
And they'll get this down to the 10. 11 more on that one and another first down. They'll give it to Mixon. And from the 9, they get this to the 5-yard line. So that run gets them about halfway home.
Yeah, it's now 2nd and goal. The end zone beckons. It looms. They can do whatever they want. Full playbook. Run it again, or they can go play action and try and put it in that way.
So they got him coming up from his linebacker spot.
And sometimes the position designation really doesn't matter. If you creep up to the line of scrimmage, you just have to look for the football. Make sure it moves before you do.
Mixon will get down close to the goal line, but not in, as he'll be marked down at the 1. Call it a gain of a couple. The defense stiffening here. It's 3rd and goal. Here's a run with Mixon, and he gets into the end zone. Touchdown, Houston. Joe Mixon, his 7th rushing touchdown on the year. And the Texans use the early turnover to get on the board first here in this one. Extra point by Fairbairn, up and good. And that makes the score 7-0. So the drive there took 6 plays, and it all culminated in the touchdown run coming from Joe Mixon. The kickoff unit is out on the field, and they will send this one away. And a decent return out to the 27-yard line. So Pittsburgh retakes the field for their 2nd offensive possession. They had the fumble on the last drive, wound up leading to the opening touchdown. Now they'll try again here, 1st and 10. So the completion good for 7 there, and it's 2nd down. Well, this defense for the Texans, they were excellent last week in the win over the Chargers.
And one of the key things you always look for when you're evaluating a defense is how opportunistic are they? How many takeaways do they get per game? And how about last week's game? That number, 6. Absolutely phenomenal performance. They were on top of their game right from the first snap.
So they accept the penalty, of course, and push the offense backwards a bit. Operating from the gun, Chambers. And a throw right sideline is complete. And he's going to be out of bounds, but not before he takes it inside the 40. So a 1st and 10 now in Houston territory at the 39-yard line. Harris running straight ahead. A look at the numbers for Harris in last week's game. 25 carries, 121 yards, and a touchdown.
Just an excellent performance from them on the ground last week, and that speaks to an offense that is operating at a high level on all fronts. Of course, that man running the ball, he's just seeing the field so well. But don't forget about his offensive line. They've really asserted their will out there and are confident they can repeat it again this week.
Steeler football here to begin quarter number 2, as they've got it with a 2nd and 4 coming up. Off play action, Chambers. And it's incomplete.
I tell you what, that's a veteran play from a guy in his first season in the NFL. A lot of rookies are trying to force something there. He thought better of it, and that was the right decision.
From the gun on 3rd down, Chambers. And he's going to go down. They get to him back at the 40. Danielle Hunter able to record his 5th sack of the season. The Steelers send out their punter now, as he should be able to pin him back deep here with his first punt. They only punted twice in the win last week as he gets this one away. And now where will the side judge stop his walk? That's the question. He says it crossed out of bounds at about the 17-yard line. So now we get set to see Houston for their 2nd drive of the ball game. This could end up being a pretty big drive. I mean, look, yes, it's early in this game, but they scored the touchdown. They got the stop. And now if they could get in the end zone here again, CD, they could grab an early stranglehold on this one.
Yeah, they certainly can, and that's what you're looking for. Where's the advantage? Can you gain it? Can you press it? Now for them, finishing it off, because right now it's out there for them. They've just got to go seize it.
Back to Mixon on 2nd down. Oh, good move. And way up past the 35 before he's taken down. 44 yards now on the ground on just 7 carries.
Okay, let's do our version of name dropping here. Let's show off a little knowledge, right? The A-gap, the gap between the center and the guard on either side, right? Both sides. Control that, you're going to control an inside running game.
And he had to feel satisfied because he hit that gap, broke the contact. He loves that.
That's the best part, right? That's what he's going to ask the coach to run back on film
Let me
review.
see that one more time.
Show that again, Coach. Look how my legs kept churning. I just kept moving, and he did to the tune of a big game.
So from the 36 now, 1st and 10. Stroud working out of the gun. That one complete. It's Tank Dell. And he'll be taken down across the 50 at the 45 in enemy territory. Another big gainer that time. This one goes for 19 yards.
Well, coaches always talk about finding balance on offense. I don't think you can get much more balance than this. Big-time run, big-time pass.
A 1-2 combination. Looked pretty good.
How about that? Let's see if they can continue to take that kind of a punch, though.
Operating out of Steeler territory now. Here's 1st and 10 at the 45-yard line. Back to throw. Here's Stroud. And he's corralled, but not before getting it inside the 35. Mixon with a 1st down carry. Gets past one man. And they'll get him down after a pickup of 8, 2nd and 2. The Texans at a perfect 4-0 to start the campaign. They've been playing their best football of the year, winners of 4 in a row.
And I thought that they played pretty well last week. Their execution, their discipline, their resilience, all on display in that victory.
And that'll be incomplete. We do have a penalty flag down, however. Let's see what that's about. Too far downfield, something those linemen have to watch out for, and that time it costs them.
Still 2nd down.
Game clock at 2:01. Time for one final play before the 2-minute warning. Back to Mixon on 2nd down. Dances by him. Gets by him at the 25. Heck of a broken tackle and able to work this down near the 23. Play number 7 coming on this drive. It's 3rd and inches. A shotgun snap to Stroud. Forced out to his left. And he'll take this one in for a Texans touchdown. His 3rd rushing touchdown on the year, number 6 overall. And the Texans have taken a 2-touchdown lead now. Another impressive drive, so they're 2 for 2, 2 touchdowns. Charles, a great start to this ball game for them.
And one of the words that's really worked its way into our lexicon is stacking. They've stacked momentum each time out, and not only on offense. Between those touchdowns, defense held, forced a punt to get the ball back, and they've played awfully well in this one. Both sides playing at optimum level.
Fairbairn now to add the extra point. And it's good to make it 14-0. So this drive spans 7 plays. And it was C.J. Stroud who finished off that drive with a touchdown run. The kickoff team on the field now as they will send this one away. And able to get this out to the 25. The Steelers ready to take over on offense. And they're in a bind early here, down 14-0. Are you worried at this stage or still too early?
You're worried. You're just trying not to transmit it to the rest of your team. You want to make sure that they stay positive. But at the same time, you're wondering, how are we going to move the football? What do we have on this play sheet?
That's caught inside the 20. And he'll take this into the end zone. Now, hold on here. We do have a flag down. So let's see what this is about.
Personal foul, roughing the passer, defense.
So obviously they will decline the penalty there, and the result is 6 points. Boswell good with the extra point, and that'll make our score 14-7. One of the shortest drives you'll ever see. One play, 75 yards, 6 points. Here's the Steelers' kick team as they'll boot this one away. And makes it across the 20 as his guys will set up shop at the 23-yard line. Joe Mixon and the rest of his offense making their way back onto the field. And he's well on his way to a 100-yard game. He's already more than halfway there. We're only in the second quarter.
And what I've always loved about running backs is they'll tell you, I had no idea how many yards I had.
Right.
Those guys have an innate sense of where they are in a ball game and how many yards they've accumulated, because you know they're always working towards 100.
He's been working well towards 100 here. Stroud out of the gun here. And the Steeler pressure too much here. He's going to go down. Now the Texans will burn the first of their timeouts as they'll stop it with exactly a minute to go before halftime. He's got it complete to Stephon Diggs. And they're going to have themselves another first down as the tackle's made at the Steelers' 36. Stroud off the play fake. He'll let this go deep for Collins. And that is incomplete. Oh, he had it and dropped it. That is an unforced error there, and it takes away what could have been a touchdown.
And that,
I believe they buzzed down. They're going to take another look at this play with all
Previous play
reviews
is
coming from the
under review.
replay official here in the final 2 minutes of the half. Did he keep those feet in bounds? That's the question they've got to decide. And I got to say, watching it in real time, it was awfully close.
yeah, it certainly looked like a heck of a catch because he didn't appear to bobble it, which could complicate things. But even with the benefit of replay,
After review of the play,
that's pretty tight.
ruling on the
Now,
field
here's
is
the
reversed.
call. 2nd and 10. Here's Stroud. He lets this one fly toward the back of the end zone. And it's knocked away and incomplete.
And that's where you're counting on a receiver's size being an advantage. They were hoping he could go over the top of a smaller DB and haul that one in. A good thought, but that time it didn't work out.
Sliding out of the pocket. He's going to let this go. Back of the end zone. Oh, and that is incomplete. So we have reached halftime with a touchdown. That's the difference on the scoreboard. As we'll get you over to Orlando, where standing by is Jonathan Coachman. He has our EA Sports halftime report.
Okay, Brandon, thanks very much. More from you and Charles in a bit. But first, time for a look around the NFL to see what's going on here in the late window. We'll get started out in Denver. And late in the first half, it's the Broncos who are out on top. 2 touchdown passes there for Bo Nix. From there, we head east to Baltimore to check on the Ravens at home at M&T Bank Stadium. And they've got the lead in their ball game over the visiting Cleveland Browns. 2 touchdown passes there for Lamar Jackson. Finally, let's get to the country music capital of the world and see what's happening with the Titans at home in Nashville. And they were winners in that game over the visiting Kansas City Chiefs. Will Levis, a strong performance there, over 300 yards passing with 3 touchdowns in the victory. It was Joe Mixon who had it working in the first half. He had a touchdown run that helped get his guys this halftime lead. This has certainly been a fun one to watch so far. We knew this was going to be a battle, and we have not been disappointed. This is the kind of game that could wind up hinging on which side can play mistake-free football the rest of the way. These 2 clubs running through their final halftime adjustments. It's just about time to get back at it.
And for the call of the second half, we go back out to Houston, H-Town, and Brandon Gaudin.
All right, Coach, thanks. Yeah, both teams likely to make some changes in what's been a closely fought battle to this point. A one-touchdown ball game, 14-7 our scores. We get back at it on EA Sports. And he'll get it up across the 20 to the 21-yard line. So here are the Texans to take over. They're working on a 4-game winning streak, and they lead this one as well right now as they start 1st and 10. Mixon will get it to start the second half. And not a whole lot of room to operate there on the first down run. He gets maybe 3. From the 24 now, here's 2nd down and 7. Throwing now is Stroud. The left side caught by Diggs. And he takes us beyond the 35 before going out of bounds. Just his second catch of the game so far. This one moves the chains. So here's a 1st and 10 at the 38. In motion left here, one of their tight ends. Mixing up the middle. He'll lose a yard there, and it's 2nd and 11.
And that's what this defense is going to need to do more in the second half. Good pressure that time, forces some indecision in the backfield. He's going to wind up being taken down for a nice loss.
And Stroud now to throw. Got a man. It's Collins complete. And he'll be taken down, but not before he works it past the 50. Just his second catch of the game so far. This one moves the chains. Operating out of Steeler territory now. Here's 1st and 10 at the 49-yard line. And a 6-yard gain gets him right around the 43.
Offensive linemen love creating space for their guys carrying the ball. But when that guy also breaks tackles and creates extra yardage, they almost feel like he's one of them, and they really embrace him.
And a nice job to break free of one tackle, but it slowed his momentum somewhat, and he's taken down right after. Trying to keep the drive going here. This is play number 7 on 3rd and 2. A bullet throw, but incomplete. Was that the incorrect read or just more an error on the throw by the quarterback?
I lean more towards the latter because it seemed like he was open there, just missed him on the throw.
And a tough one to miss because now you're dealing with a 4th down. On is the punter Townsend as he gets this one away. And this will be touchdown inside the 20. They'll spot it at the 18-yard line. A handoff to Harris to begin the drive. And they're able to get this one across the 35. The drive starting play, a good one. Give him 19. One play has him to the 37 here for 1st and 10. Looking to throw. Chambers. And the catch is made here by Tyler Lockett. And this will be stopped at the 44. That one good for 7 yards.
He decided to run a hitch route. It really helps to have a guy who can turn it loose. And boy, he rifled one in there on that one. Not much run after catch, but it worked really well.
From the 44-yard line, here's 2nd down and 3. Back to throw. Chambers. Oh, he rifles one, and that's going to be intercepted. And they take possession 2 yards away from midfield at the 48-yard line. Now Stroud. Dumps it off to Mixon. And a 5-yard gain gets him to the 42.
Caught that look from you there, partner. I think we're on the same page on that one. Just his first catch. I think we both thought he'd be a little more active in the passing game. Let's see if that's the start of them trying to get the ball to him a little bit more here in the second half.
Inside handoff to Mixon. And he'll get it down on the play to the 37. Line of scrimmage, the 37 on 1st and 10. Stroud. And Diggs has it.
I always laugh when people say, what's the toughest route to defend? And I'm like, any of them, especially if it's a good receiver. That makes things very difficult. But when you're running a drag route, something short, shallow, going through defenders, using guys almost as screens in order to get open, that makes things tough for guys trying to get to the football.
3rd and 4. Stroud looking to throw. And he'll be hit as he releases it, and that'll fall incomplete. So on 4th down, Texan kicker Kaimi Fairbairn comes on. This is a 49-yard attempt, right hash. The kick by Fairbairn is good, and they will move up by 10 now, 17-7. If you think about it, that's a pretty important second-half field goal, Charles. That now stretches this to 2 possessions and really kind of ratchets up the pressure on that opposing sideline.
It certainly does, because that interception and adding a field goal to it, that puts them in firm control of this game right now. They're about one more big stop from putting this thing absolutely out of reach.
And now out come the Steelers. So now, Charles, this drive maybe a touch more important, trying to erase the memory of that interception they had the last time out.
Yeah, and everyone goes through this, because even the best in the game, you're going to have games where it just doesn't go right for you and interceptions result. So, frankly, to me, it's all about how you respond, not just the types of plays that you call, but how you carry yourself, how you show your team that you're still with it, and how you continue to lead.
So a roughing the passer penalty there, CD.
And we know that these pass rushers love to get after rookie quarterbacks, but they've still got to do it within the scope of the rules. And that time, the hit came just a little bit too late. And the official won't even think twice about pulling his flag on that one.
And this one goes nowhere. Losing yardage on the play back at the 46. Harris going to get it again on 2nd down. And he'll be taken down after a decent gain, and that will bring us to the end of this 3rd quarter of play. So they'll get a little extra time to come up with his 3rd down play as we've played 3 quarters. This is the National Football League on EA Sports. Back now here on EA Sports. It's the Steelers with the football, but trailing here as we get going in quarter number 4. On 3rd down, he'll drop to throw. A short one there to Freiermuth. So he fought off the tackle, and that effort gives him the first before he's brought down. Operating from the gun, Chambers throwing middle, and it's complete. And brought down, but able to get it to their 30-yard line. So 1st and 10 now from the 30. They hand this off to Harris, and he'll power ahead, but only for about 3 yards. 2nd down coming up. Just not a whole lot of room to operate there on that carry.
No, not at all. They did a really nice job staying in their proper places and not allowing any lanes to open up.
And taking it to the 15-yard line before he's brought down. 12 yards there as they keep this drive rolling. It's another 1st down. On the give, this is Harris. And now they're inside the 10 as he's brought down at the 9. It's a 6-yard pickup, and it gets him to 2nd and 4.
That's a strong pickup right there on 1st down. And as this drive goes on, we're seeing an offensive line and running game imposing its will.
2nd and 4. And he's got his man in stride, complete. And the Steelers are going to be looking at 1st and goal as they move this down to the 4-yard line. Looking to throw. Chambers. And that one drops down, incomplete. Good coverage there, forced the ball free, and it's 2nd down. Back to throw. Chambers. That throw finds Pickens in the end zone. Touchdown, Steelers. A great effort there. His 2nd touchdown on the season. And the Steelers have made it a 1-score game again here in the 4th. Extra point put through by Boswell. And now things get a bit more interesting here in this 4th quarter. Here's the Steelers kick team as they'll boot this one away. And he'll go down as this drive will start at the 25-yard line. Houston's offense taking over again. That last touchdown has made this really tight. They're clinging now to this slim lead. Second half, they only have a field goal. This offense needs to kick it into gear.
And right now, I'm looking directly at the field general, at the quarterback. Because to me, he's got to take over right now. By word, pumping his team up, and then, of course, by deed with his play. My high school coach used to say that all the time. Laddie, take over by word and deed.
And deed means action.
Exactly. Fired that one in there, able to make connection on a nice in route.
With those faster passes when they're going that fast, any hesitation as a quarterback that the deflection, if you miss, might be bigger and lead to an interception?
Yeah, and the deflection works both ways. Maybe a defender gets a hand in the way and it pops in the air. And sometimes you throw it so hard your receiver can't handle it, and he pops it up in the air for the defenders to grab as well.
But a moot point there as they were able to connect. Back to throw now on first down. They get to Stroud, nowhere to go, and he goes down. Now it looks like we're going to get a stoppage here. An injured Steeler on that last play. While they come out and take a look at him, we will step aside for just a moment. So following the sack, they'll try to change their fortune here on 2nd and 13. Going deep for Diggs. And he knocks the ball away, and it falls incomplete.
Just because you've got the lead in the fourth, it doesn't mean you have to play it safe. I like the aggressive play call there to push it downfield. That time, it didn't work out.
Now on 3rd and long, they'll look to throw. Buying time to his left. Pass taken in by his big tight end. And he will be taken down, but a big play there as it comes just as we reach the 2-minute warning. So it's Texans football as we welcome you back. They've got a 1st and 10 as they look to try and finish this one off. Five points of contact necessary at this stage as they'll run on first down. And he's in. Touchdown, Houston. Joe Mixon. His 2nd touchdown of the game and his 9th on the year. And the Texans are able to build on to their 4th quarter lead. On for the PAT, Kaimi Fairbairn. And his guys will take a 10-point lead. So that drives 7 plays in length. And it all culminated in the touchdown run coming from Joe Mixon. Out is the kickoff unit as they run up and send this one away. And this return going to come to a quick end as he is belted at the end of that one. So now the Steelers down 24-14. A minute 50 to play. How will this thing pan out? We'll watch as they come up on first down. He's got Pickens complete, and he's taken down but able to slip across the 35.
Illegal block in the back. Offense.
That flag accepted, and it backs the offense up a little bit. Looking to throw. Chambers. Pickens on the slant. Now the Steelers use the first of their 3 timeouts as they'll head to the sideline and talk over what to do next. Now on first down, he'll drop to throw it. Under pressure, and the Texans able to get in there for the sack. That was Will Anderson getting home and finishing the play. They'll come up now on 2nd down. Back to throw. Chambers. That's to Freiermuth. And he'll be taken down, but not before they reach the 50. Now the Steelers use the 2nd of their 3 timeouts as they'll get a chance to talk it over after picking up the first down. From the midfield stripe, they'll look to throw. Completes this one to Pickens. This will be stopped about 2 yards shy of the marker. 8-yard gain, 2nd and 2. That hold coming from the left side of the line.
Hands got caught in the cookie jar on that one, and the flag came out. Penalty against them.
Looking to throw. Chambers. Got a man, and he hits him in stride.
As long as you go through your proper reads and progressions, the drag route can be one of those old reliable plays because usually it's good for a good chunk of yardage, as we just saw there.
And those guys like it, right? They can get the ball with a full head of steam.
Especially against man coverage, because man coverage, they're typically running away from someone and not worried about traffic coming out on the other end.
A short one there to Freiermuth. And he'll be out of bounds just inside the 25-yard line. Here's 2nd down and 3. They'll look to throw again. This is caught. And he takes this one into the end zone. And all of a sudden, here in the final minute, things get a little bit tighter. Boswell good with the extra point. And now things get a bit more interesting here in this 4th quarter. So that winds up a 7-play drive all told. So still a little over 40 seconds to go. Time enough to put a drive together if they can get this onside kick. And this will be recovered by the Texans. So victory appears to be in sight. And that's why you have your hands team out there on the field. Those are the best guys ready to make that play.
And let's face it, it was executed well. It wasn't a bad kick. It wasn't anything like that. Just that the normal outcome actually came to play. Analytics will tell you it's a very low possibility of getting the ball for the team kicking it in an onside kick situation.
You're all about the numbers, aren't you?
All about the numbers, baby. It's a new game now.
They don't lie. Breaks the tackle. He's got room to run. And he'll go out of bounds in the red zone just inside the 20. So they come up on 2nd down. If they can get another run like we just saw, it would likely put an end to this thing. Here's Stroud. Oh, he's got a man wide open, complete. Now the Texans will use one of their 2 remaining timeouts. That'll leave them with just 1 remaining in this 4th quarter of play. Going for the knockout punch. They'll try and run. And he's across for the touchdown. And in the final minute, that should just about seal it. Fairbairn good with the extra point. And his guys will take a 10-point lead. Just a 4-play drive that time. And it all culminated in the touchdown run coming from Joe Mixon. Set now to kick this one away, and off it goes. And no chance to see a return on the dynamic kickoff. They'll move this out to the 30-yard line. The Steelers offense and their quarterback headed out for this next possession. And we'll take you through some of the highlights here. You'll notice he had a hand in a lot of them so far. He's got this offense rolling right now. Here's 1st and 10. Off the play fake. Chambers. And he's going to go down. The Texans come at him and able to bring him to the ground. Now whistles and a timeout called here. Not sure of the point of this, but they'll stop it with 4 seconds to go in the game. They'll come up now. This is 2nd and long. One final shot. They'll look to throw. Now a desperation throw deep downfield. And that will be incomplete as time has run out on this football game. A higher scoring game, Charles, than we typically see in the National Football League, but fun to watch these offenses. They were really clicking. It seemed like everything that they dialed up worked. Yeah, it certainly was fun to watch from our perspective. How'd you like to be those defensive coaches, though? That wasn't a blast for them at all. And let's face it, they all game plan, they all scout, they all think they're prepared. But executing and stopping teams, that's another matter entirely. So for Houston, their strong September has carried over to October as they move to 5-0. And they will hit the road next week to take on the Tennessee Titans. Meanwhile, for the